Hello. Alright. Hopefully you can see me. Let's see. Let's go over here. Just gonna hit this here. Okay. Okay. Alright, that sounds decent enough. Is this off? Why were you off exactly? Also, by the way, if you type, it should appear on the screen. I did turn on a thing here that like you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel to comment, because I know that some of you join the stream and do not subscribe. So anyhow, maybe that helps. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it off. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Just turn this off. Oh, look how weird. Just went back to whatever it wanted to do. It's completely different each and every screen I check. I didn't put music today because, as you may guess, it decided to, like, it triggered the not the moderation, the copyright tool on YouTube, and basically, like, it gives you, like, the video is fine, but I have to like go song by song, letting the application know that I have the right to use said music. Does this work? I'm curious. Uh, 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 uh. Should I turn this off? No. Does it do? I don't know. I'm really. Huh. Participants. Okay. Yeah. And here. Okay. Anyhow. I'm just gonna also modify this. What? No, no, no. No, no, no. Wrong thing. I'm messing with the wrong thing. Come on, son. Come on. So, it should be like that. How about the gamma? Gamma. Too much contrast? No. More contrast. More contrast. Little bit less brightness, but more contrast. Something like that. Yes. Yes. The game is horrible. Come on, man. Here shift. Jesus. What in the fudge? So it should be something like that. Is it the contrast, the one that is brightness? What if I push the brightness? Pushing it too much? Yes, yeah. Okay. Ah, I need a new camera. Yeah. Did it fix it magically? No. It's probably gonna revert back. Gracias. A mí también. Ahorita me gusta cómo está quedando. Hay otros que no me han gustado, pero este me agrada. A ver. Sí. Brightness. It's too much brightness. Why? What? Gamma? Too many slices. Well, I guess I'll take this as a reference. If I can color match it to some extent, I just leave it at that. That's it. Cool. All right. On to today's actual thing. So let's turn this on. Yes. So I was able to fix. Maybe I should use the other thing. I have a. Let's see. Come on. Come on. I hope it doesn't break. Like the holder or the whatchamacallit that keeps my phone in place broke, and when it's broken it just the phone slides into a weird position. Yeah, I don't know if I like this. Like I have a metal thing in the middle. Like, all right, all right. Let's do something else with this. Yes. Yes. What are we doing? Let's turn this off. Oh, maybe like that. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can hold like that. Look! Like magic. Well, use what you can. You have to be resourceful, my friends. Resourceful. Okay. Yeah. For those of you that might join this random stream from, like, who the heck is this dude? Like, I draw every day for around an hour, and sometimes I do like a whole drawing in one session, but I've been taking it easy on myself lately. So, um, yeah, that's what I do. So, if you're interested in this sort of thing, if you want to learn about drawing, or you want to ask questions, or you just want to hang out, or see a random dude on the internet draw, you can subscribe to my channel. It helps me a bunch. It's completely free for you, and it helps me continue to follow my dreams. Hopefully, at some point, slay my enemies in a, may I be super clear, in a figurative way. Anyhow, all I'm going to say is that hasn't been the best couple years, I think. There's some really awesome things that happened during these years, but also there's been some really I don't know how to describe it. Uh, yes. What can you say, my friend? Hello, Diana Martinez. How are you? Welcome to this random dude drawing with a pen and a brace. Hello, class. Welcome. I wonder if this is. Might this be? Huh. I have so many questions. I just gotta check this one. Okay. Is it? Hmm. Alright. Yes. Following up on what I was talking about yesterday with one of my subscribers, and I would gladly say supporters. I'll add this last few batch of illustrations onto my Redbubble shop, and maybe to a flash cookie. Hi, Stephanie. Um, eh. Today, particularly not good, but it like I made myself feel better by um, by pure will and determination and stubbornness. Need to. That's better. Yeah. You. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm witty about the fact that tomorrow is Friday and I have 2 days off, kinda. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend for sure. Mm-hmm. 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 My goodness. I think if I could ask, like somebody well adjusted, not some like not just a regular old person, like somebody that's well adjusted and has a really good outlook. Red Raccoon, yeah, I recognize that icon. I made one of those way back. What's the name of that character? That's from Undertale, right? Eh, I don't remember the name. The character is really cool. Yes. Sans, that's it. The theme song for that game is incredible. Like, what was it? Like. That's that's an incredible soundtrack. forget the name of the movie that they made for Pixar. I wish I had a better memory all the time. I think I don't know. Or I'm old, or I have ADD. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know if I have ADD really, but it's just an estimation based on how many things I I forget about. Jumping from one subject matter to another. Would that be so terrible? Like I wouldn't mind being like an elephant or something, having the level of memory that they have. But you know what's weird about it? That I can remember things that I remember, maybe not the best things to remember, but I remember people that did something awful 30 years ago. Like, very vividly. So, you know, there's an episode on Doctor House. There's a lady that she's all upset at her sister, and her sister doesn't understand. Like she got sick. I don't remember the exact reason, but throughout the episode, the the lady needs her sister to give her a transplant, and she couldn't give up on whatever issue she had with her sister, because she had perfect memory. uh, Ever since she started registering memories, she was able to remember every single thing that her sister did, from childhood all the way to adulthood. And her sister was like, "I love you. I don't know why you're upset at me, and this and that." Like, yeah, I've talked about this with my family, like my close family, and like I think I have two things. I remember that type of stuff. If somebody does something awful, I remember vividly, which is it's not the best to remember all the time. Like, it's good to keep track of it, uh, but not kind of relive it every time, type of thing. That's the part that I think it's not good for you. Um, and the other thing, what was? See, I got sidetracked. I was saying that I remember those things vividly, and it's a little bit of a burden. Oh, I remember now. The other thing that I also have spoken about is with some family members is the other thing that's terrible for you is having like really good hearing, which I maybe it has degraded over time, but I believe I still do have some really good hearing. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, you don't wanna like if you have really good hearing. My wife tells me that I have Balkan ears, um, which I cannot take as a compliment, but it's not really a great thing because sometimes you hear people saying the most awful things from a distance, and you're like, I cannot really say anything because I sh- I shouldn't. First off, I shouldn't be able to listen to them. The other thing is, it's not. It's the type of conversation that is not for you. It's chatter between people that are just talking to each other. Like it's whatever somebody else thinks about you is really not your problem. Is their own thing most of the time, unless they make it your problem. But it's definitely not the greatest. Would not recommend. Would say like 2 out of 10. Which is weird because I can remember things that happened 20 years ago, like a lot, and I cannot remember the the character's name, Sans, for example, that sort of thing. I think the other thing that bothers me about that is that I know I'm speaking a second language, but I tend to be good at speaking, or I used to be good at speaking English. No terrible hearing. Yeah, I guess like everyone has a different set of skills. My wife also tells me like that I have really good nose. I think that has definitely gotten worse over time. Uh, which, well, you gotta be happy about that because I heard that it's actually a sign of health. If you can smell well. Apparently, like I listened to a bunch of scientific um, streams, podcasts, and this guy was saying that the I think I mentioned this, like something related to this before. It's part of the same podcast, but the nose at the back of the nose is where the cells that uh, keep that receive the smell and process it and send it to the brain. Those are cells that apparently they don't, like if you get hit or it gets damaged, it constantly keeps on uh, regenerating, and apparently super powerful. You can detect way more than you think. Yeah, I mentioned a bunch of episodes or streams back, something related to this, but yeah, apparently humans have better noses than we think. First off, and second off, uh, your sense of smell is actually first is really important. Second, it's a marker for health. Actually, there is a story about a lady that I think she could. What was the thing? I think it was that she could smell if somebody had like, I don't know if it was cancer. Like she could smell something off about people that had some type of condition, which it's wild to me. Like we know very little about our own bodies. There's so many like micro discoveries that we have no clue about. I was listening to another podcast that was saying that the microbiome that we have identified, it's like 10% or something of all, like every organism that it's surrounding us at all times. Like we can definitely identify, we have really identified the ones that, like, if a bacteria goes through a population and wipes out a bunch of us, of course we're gonna study that bacteria, or we're gonna try to identify what was it that was messing with us, and that's how we figure out, oh, this is this organism that does this and this and this and that. But other than that, there's a lot of organisms that apparently live within us, and nobody has a clue as to what they do, or like they don't, they're not bad for us. They just live in that microcosm, cosm, like, yeah, we have like universes within us, and each person has a different set of microorganisms. Yeah, super nerd. I hold that badge proudly, I gotta say. Really, that's really cool. I'm pretty sure that people like, no, you cannot, and it's like, yeah, I can. It's one of those things. I've had it with, like, with me listening to what somebody said. People, it's really common that people don't believe me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Don't believe me. It happened, and this person said this and this and that. I mean, there's nothing else I can do but to tell you that I listen this and this and this. So it can be really frustrating. Which I don't know if you heard about this, but I came to that realization like later in life that it's not uncommon for people like a super genius. Um, I honestly I think I'm a regular person in many aspects. So uh, what I'm talking about is like really extreme super genius, like people that can speak like 9 languages, that sort of thing. Apparently, they're more prone to like uh, get into addictions and have a bunch of problems because like I can only imagine that it must be like lonely. If just dealing with regular stuff can be lonely, imagine having to also like know for a fact that you're way smarter than like 10x smarter than a lot of people around you, and the percentage of people that can probably understand or relate are really small. So now that I think of it, maybe that could be part of the reason why Dr. House was a little bit of a an out there character type of thing. Could be like part of the phenomenon. Like he was when the other characters were trying to figure out what was happening, he already went and came back, and a lot of the times, not all the time, but so yeah. I learned recently that I don't remember the name of the lady Chucker, but uh, there's a lady that's like a super genius, and she's still alive. Uh, really? I didn't know that. I gotta look into that. I didn't know that, but that's how it came to be. I also, I don't know. Like if you, there's, I think there's also such a thing as being like too smart for your own good type of thing. There's a lot of that. So you, oftentimes you don't wanna call attention around you. Uh, so I'm curious about that. Like there must be like a percentage per year per population of people that are like off the charts. I don't know, 300% IQ. I don't know, 300 points IQ. I don't know. Yeah, that's how. But having said all this, I'm really curious as to like I always kind of wanted to like figure out like how smart effectively I am, or how, like, just out of curiosity. And I wonder, I've seen some of the tests. It's like, if you for example, if you test me on math, like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Maybe, I don't know if it's maybe like math logic. I could have a fighting chance. I don't know. Some of the questions are like super. But if I give you this triangle and I put a circle inside it, where what color was the dragon that crossed over the, like, what the, I don't know. So I think it's also kind of complicated to quantify how smart somebody is based on certain criteria, because there, as many people are in the world, that same amount of different intelligence exists. And it gets even more complicated if you start going into like animals, like a chimpanzee. How smart is a chimpanzee? Based on what? He's not gonna understand an IQ test. uh, so yeah, how do you quantify that? How do you quantify how smart is an elephant, for example? As I was mentioning, they can remember, they think like we think that they can remember most of what they've been through throughout their life. So I wonder, how can we measure that? How can we measure how smart an artificial intelligence is? For example, the Turing test. I wonder. Like, you can, if you ask, "Are you alive?" Yeah, no, I am an, like, how do we define that something is alive? Because viruses, if you look at what how they exist, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think the fascination, what at least for me about that, is as far as we know, there's no other intelligent life around us. So having an idea about, like, could we like have a full conversation with an elephant? I wonder about that. That's the extent that I wonder. They have all the right, like, I was talking about this with my wife the other day, like orangutans. To me, like, I've heard about. You can look this up. There was an orangutan that apparently, uh, well, I'm going to give a shout out. I think I can remember the name now of the channel. Is Casual Geographic on YouTube. I don't know if that's the same on TikTok for him, but he was talking about an orangutan that the story goes like this. They had a zoo with a bunch of orangutans in an enclosure. So they lived one night. There was this new person that was taking care of the orangutans, the enclosure. and they come the next day. I think it was a new person. Maybe I'm making that part up. They come back and the orangutans are out of their enclosure, all around. Like, oh my God, we left the enclosure open. This cannot happen. This is so dangerous, and yada yada yada. So it's a whole thing. They go. They check to see if they figure out what happened. They just think that they left the door open. So they go about their day. They do their thing during the day. They take care of the animals. Well, next night they leave the zoo. They come the next day to the place, and all the orangutans left again. They're outside of the enclosure in different areas. It's like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, how could this happen? Yada yada yada. People are getting really upset on the zoo. Like, this is really irresponsible. So it's a whole thing. That happens like 3 or 4, I don't know how many nights in a row, until they start like there's something going on here. There's something fishy going on here. So there was an old orangutan that they figure out that he kept some form of key. I think it was like a metal thing, and he kept it on his mouth. And when everybody left, he would take it out, open the enclosure, and just go have fun. So I was talking to my wife about this, that I think that orangutans are like, yeah, I don't know if I want to let them know how smart I am. Uh, like that orangutan just messed it up, but I don't know. Like they seem to me that they're just chilling and going about their day, and just like, I don't want to be like flying an airplane. I don't want to be like they don't have that they don't have that drive to, or I think they don't have that thing of, this is, I need more and more and more. They seem to be like that. Just like chilling in the jungle. So yeah, there's also another. Just add another story to what I just said. Uh, Another thing about orangutans that they figure out, or they saw an orangutan in the jungle with a really horrible wound on his face, and they look at him after, like they find him like a month after or so, and he was like really healed. And they started to like, oh, how did he get healed so fast? What happened here? So they started checking on him, and he was using some sort of ointment, like he was using medicine. So so the whole idea that we're the smartest thing on the block is so egotistical about humans, about us all. Tend to be full of ourselves, and so I don't know. Just that's the extent that I'm interested in that sort of thing. Like I find it so awesome that they are that level of smart, and they're just chilling, just going about their life. find that super interesting. Having said this, sadly, we live in a society that like you need to be producing all the time. Um, I guess in some ways they can be. I think I think it's more about like wisdom. There's creatures that just show wisdom, and there's also a lot like nature can be really rough on anything. Like it's really like the other day you were asking about like the mantis. The what was it? I don't remember the other name of the mantis. The huge green one. And if you see what they do, oh my god. I wouldn't want to be an insect or that it's haunted by one of those things. Freaking horrendous. I think part of the trauma I have about that creature is that there was let me see if I can remember. There was a movie that I think it was like aliens that were actually insects. Uh, the concept was weird, but I don't remember if one of them was a mantis or if it was uh, like the a bat species that was rival to them. But there was like a giant mantis that that's what I think it freaked me out because it was like, of course, if you scale a mantis, it would be like Shaquille O'Neal height type of thing. It would be like 3 meters or something, and yeah, it was really freakish. And they do horrible things to their mates, uh, as you might know, uh, if you like those creatures. Um, and the other one, I think was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There was also a chapter of a lady that in reality was like a mantis monster, and she would like devour men. But that one was more like it has some more of a mystical thing. The other one that I mentioned was freaking creepy. It gives me the creeps. And the other thing I have to add to this is that when I was little, there was a showing, like a showroom where I lived about, I don't remember how far away in the past this was, but at one point in time, insects were like gigantic. So in that showroom, they had a bunch of insects to what, according to what they were saying, were at the size they were showing it, and that never left my mind. Like okay, if I if I were to go back to that point, Oh, clowns. Clowns is a really common. There's a lot of people that are afraid of clowns. Um, I'm guessing for what you're saying that you haven't seen the new It movie. That movie's good. I have a thing for scary movies. I appreciate watching scary movies. That It film is really good. It's really well done. And Stephen King is it's a master at writing horror. I saw a movie recently, well, kind of recently. I think it was on HBO Max. Was it HBO Max? Uh, so you don't like scary movies? I yeah, I enjoy scary movies. Some of them. I don't see all of them. There's a part of horror that I'm like, no, thank you. No, 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 no. But in reality, like the movies that I I pass the most, like I don't want to see that. If it's, I think I mentioned this in the past. Like if it's a movie that is talking about like real trauma, uh, like something awful that happened to a group of people or somebody specifically, I prefer not to watch that. Like I don't I classify all that I'm mentioning like the it movies, vampire movies, zombie movies. Those are fiction, right? We can all agree those are fiction. Granted, some of it is based on some legends or that sort of thing, but we can all agree that those are considered fiction. But things that actually happen to people, those ones are like, come on, man, I don't need this drama. Like that person already went through this horrible thing, and I don't want to relive their freaking horrible experience. Some I might watch, but I don't know. Like I don't see, I don't see the appeal in those type of movies. It's like no, thank you. I think. Uh, Let me see if I can clean this thing a little bit. The red panda. I'm going to try this. Now that I fixed it, let's try it. I should I turn this off. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, alright, alright. So, yeah. If it's a work of fiction, I'll probably watch it. Like for example, Edgar Allan Poe. Those stories are awesome. He was really good at that sort of thing. So I like that sort of storytelling. Of course, I also enjoy other things, but like for example, Alien, the Alien movies, the Alien franchise, it's awesome. It's to me, it's a masterpiece of cinema. Like if you haven't watched it, like why do you? If you like film and you haven't watched, uh, for example, The Thing, Alien, the first one. Let's see what other one. Uh, Nosferatu, the like the black and white version. Uh, I think it didn't even had sound. I think that movie it's incredible. The fact that they did it during like technology. What is that? They barely had a camera. Like it could be, it could have been a like a play, and we would only know about it like from I don't know somebody writing a note about it or the script or that sort of thing. But luckily, they had already some like really not that great cameras, but good enough that they still exist. Those movies, I mean. Uh, well, I guess if you go to like George Méliès, uh, yeah, there's some really good ones. Uh, but yeah, as you mentioned, as we're talking about this, there's some movies that are not for everyone. It depends. Like I have a niche that I don't mess with. Like exorcisms. Like I've seen a few movies about that sort of thing, and just talking about the subject gives me the jeeves. And yeah, so there's something definitely there that there's a reason that people keep making movies about those subject matters, and and also a reason why people go watch them because it's like a roller coaster ride that you're going through with one of those movies. Definitely. I would say like the best stuff I've seen in horror and so on and so forth recently is oh see that's what I mean. It depends on the niche. There's some people that find certain things like, oh, this is laughable, and to some it's like, why are you watching that? That's horrible. It just happens to be that for each and every one of us, it's like a different flavor. That's basically it. It's like this whole thing about women watching like um being fascinated by CSI and all that. It's like At what point do you stop watching that type of thing? Like it get. I was like, nah. I know that type of thing exists. I don't. I'm like over it. There's some really good shows. Definitely, CSI was. I think it's still running. Is it still running? CSI was really good. Uh, there's some really good shows about those sort of things. But like I don't want to watch that all the time. I want to watch other stuff too. Um, that's the good thing about right now. There's so many shows that everybody can watch. So going back to what I was saying, there's a Stephen King movie that I watched. I think it was on HBO Max. Um, it was a vampire movie. I don't remember the name. Uh, Apparently, it's a remake of. Well, it's another adaptation of a Stephen King's book about vampires taking over a town. And I really had fun watching that movie. It's like this is awesome. The way they represented the vampires, and like they went for a really classical approach for them, which it's super cool. Like after there was a point in time where they started like turning into this ridiculous like by the point they got to Twilight it was like come on man, this is a cartoon, this is like what the heck is this. uh, and if you go back to like Nosferatu, those things that's freakish. um, I also like there's another vampire thing that was good. Midnight Mass. That was a good vampire film. Well, series in reality. Salem's Lot. That's it. I really like that movie, especially like the kid. I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's this kid that is like this kid is awesome. I really like that character. Like he's freaking awesome. He just like doesn't if the adults are not gonna do anything, they just takes over and does what he needs to. Freaking awesome, really awesome character. Also, a really common thing, and probably I'm not alone on this one. When people, it drives me nuts when people do things on those types of movies that it doesn't make any sense. Like if you do something stupid, I'm like, why is this character doing this? What like it drives me out of the story. If the characters act like with common sense, like I'm still with the story. But if they start doing like weird nonsensical stuff, I'm like, oh come on, this is like who came up with this? Uh, yeah, that I don't really like when that happens because then I start thinking like about the production, the visual effects, the photography. Like I start picking apart the show. I'm like, why do you make me do this? So if that happens to me, I start like I don't enjoy the show anymore because I'm just criticizing uh, technical aspects of the show, or I'm questioning certain decisions, paying attention to details that I might not pay attention to uh, if I was really in the story. And film has a lot of that. Like if Nosferatu, going back to that really old movie. Of course, technically they did what they could, like with the technology they had at the time. But there's no point in that film that you don't feel like this is. And maybe some of you might see that film and think, oh, this is ridiculous. This is nothing. Imagine watching that when when it was made in a dark theater, and that film, like, it's really good. uh, the storytelling and how they were able to pull all the things that they did on that, uh, with basically nothing, um, doesn't bring you out of the story. Well, that would make that happen, I think. And there's also like there's a some really, I don't know. Reminds me of, I think it's Zombieland. Like the main character was afraid of clowns, and by the end he had to face, like, of course it's a freaking clown. So it was a zombie clown. That film is genius. I really like that movie. And the opening with Metallica. Ten 44. Come on, son. Let's get going. I'll finish this. That's way more saturation here than what I can probably provide with this. Maybe I should just go with a marker. Do I go with a marker? I kind of want to. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Also, Metallica is like perfect for that sort of thing. Like that whole sequence in Stranger Things was really fun. Yeah, this is way easier to get the level of saturation I need. Contrast. The thing is, then I have to go back here and just be careful here. Be careful. Just gonna try to put that there. Hopefully I'm able to pull it off. They're right. Maybe. 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 Just maybe. Also have to be careful because you can easily overdo this. Bum 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. I wonder if I should add some contrast there. I could just go with the go for it. Go for it, my friend. Go for it. Go for it. Yes. Yes. Alright. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. Likewise. I messed up. I think I did. I think I did. I think I messed the drawing a little bit. I think I did. I did. Maybe just a little bit. Ding 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 ding. Dun 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 dun. Completely doing this outside of the frame. Great. Great, Ronald. Great. Great. Slay your enemies. Yeah. Oh, that's what I needed. Just a little bit of. Just a little bit more contrast in that area. That's all that needed, my friend. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Bow 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 bow. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. You know what? And what's the other ones? Has three. Well, I think I got it a little bit out of my system. Yes, let's finish this up. Let's finish this. Bram, pa, pam, 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 pam. Did it break? Yeah, it only took like anyway. I was just waiting on it. Anyhow, never give up, never surrender. And just wrong light. How about now? Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Trying. Stay there. It broke again. Ah, my goodness. Isn't that fun? When you're working tool breaks. Isn't it something else? I'm just gonna adjust this for the sake of the last shot on the stream, because that's not what I see. This is what I see. That's way more what I see. Even more so if I kinda, sort of. Of course, it decides to mess with me, but I guess you get the idea. This. Shoot. Alright. Hmm. Well, that's kind of it. Not really, like, come on, man. Contrast. Saturation could be. Oh, it's probably the issue. Part of the issue, at least. I guess this is the best I can do with this camera that doesn't help me that much. I do appreciate you, camera. It's just like, well, could be better. Anyway, just forgot to sign this. Just gonna sign this and go to sleep. Gotta wake up early tomorrow. Again, not a signature placing, but I like the way this one turned out. I wasn't expecting it. Still some stuff I could do on it, but hopefully, if you watch the stream, you got something from it. I, as I mentioned, I try to go live Monday through Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Argentina time, and you can see me draw live and ask me questions and so on and so forth. Hang out if you want to. I have my illustrated deck of cards that you can find right here and on my website. I have a Redbubble shop and other stuff that you can find, like backgrounds for your phone if you're interested in that. What else am I missing? Consider subscribing, hitting that bell, and all that good stuff. It helps me a bunch. It's completely free for you. And yeah, hopefully, I'll see you around next time. Anyhow, thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye.